Return to sender.
That was
Do you want this on the internet?
Yeah.
And then as soon as this comes, the prince got injured. All I know is apparently I pocketed. Way to make me the villain in my own podcast. And this is the first episode. That's even another thing. If you're gonna do it right. My dyslexia really made me feel some type of way. I had a complex. Hello everybody and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lena and today I thought I would share with you guys a little thing that I've been cooking and that has been in the making for a little bit. This is Udon at Dawn
Podcast.
Yes, and my first ever guest is my broski.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited to see what we cook up here.
Yes. So without further ado, let's get on with this podcast. So what we're gonna do is, since this is the first podcast ever, I thought it would be really nice to do kind of like just a chit chat and kind of talking about our own childhoods and have different topics to kind of talk about. The first topic, which I will ask you first, is adoption. So we are both adopted, and
About ourselves.
And we'll talk a little bit about ourselves, about being adopted and how it has been for us and our thoughts, because I feel like adoption is such a tricky and can be like a very hard topic to talk about. So yeah, all right, I'll ask you. What do you feel about being adopted?
One of my earliest memories was actually being adopted, and I would say it was a weird experience because, from my personal experience, I was 4.5, much older than what you experienced when you were adopted. And so for me, I had a lot of fear when it became, but as I got older, I understood, and it was actually a huge gift that I could ever. It's like winning the lottery in life, if I'm being honest, because you're coming from a background where you have no good chance of having a supportive life. You'll have oftentimes children come with their own traumatic experiences that the parents that are adopting have to work with and through. So my experience now is very positive.
That's good. I felt
very grateful.
Yeah, no, I felt like being adopted. So he was adopted at 4.5 years old, and I was adopted at 2.5. And no matter what age you are when you're adopted, there is trauma, whether you admit to it or not. Everyone has a little bit of baggage, a little bit of something that they carry, whether it's feelings of neglect or, abandonment. And for me, growing up, I've always felt like I needed more. I've needed a lot of shit. I've always been a person that needs a lot. What I mean by that is stuff. I used to collect a lot of stuffed animals, and my brother can vouch for being adopted. It has no bearings on whether my biological parents or my adoptive parents. It doesn't matter to me. Our mom is our mom at the end of the day, regardless that she did not give birth to us. She is our mother. So I feel like being adopted can be tricky and kind of a sensitive topic, because it's like your parents didn't want you, but they did, but you don't actually know the full story, but they sometimes make up stories. I don't know if you've heard at some agencies, they try to make it sound like this child has been through so much. Maybe the child actually hasn't been, but
Sometimes
they want to sell it,
Sometimes they do, yeah.
They want to sell it so that you go with their agency to adopt the child. But
sometimes I feel like that could be a turnoff to some people, though. So it's a juggling act of because I know there were stories of parents who adopted and then realized that the child was too much to handle. In a horrible sense, returned the child.
Return to sender. Oof.
Yeah, and it's a really tough situation after that for the adopted child. Yeah.
I feel like adopting is not for
the faint of heart.
I was gonna say not for the weak, because you have these children that don't have a home or don't understand what love is. And luckily for us, we were very nurtured as children, and we were very cared for and taken care of for, which I think is amazing, because not every child has that opportunity, to say the least.
Yeah.
But overall, I feel like for me, being adopted is not a label. Some people like to label it.
I don't usually mention it.
You know?
Most
Yeah,
people
exactly.
think when they meet me, I have Asian parents.
Yes.
Unless I, start stating, hey, my parents are Caucasian.
Exactly.
And they're like, what happened there?
Yeah, well, and so yeah, that's another thing. I feel like, so being adopted, there's a lot of misconceptions and a lot of like, oh, if I'm standing next to an Asian woman and our mom is right behind us, and the lady at the couch says, oh, are you guys paying together? Like, and not referring to our mom, but referring to the woman that's Asian and standing next to me, which I've always was like, huh. So it's not that I'm saying that people's minds are little. I'm just
No, they're just not.
I'm just saying that you're not.
It's an unusual thing. Like
they don't grasp. I think what it is they don't grasp that. Oh, the possibility of this person and this person could actually be adopted. Yeah. It's more like, yeah, no, this person's this person. Yeah, you're comfortable. I know what it is. Sorry, you're more comfortable with what you know.
Yeah.
Right. So that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So. Anyways, now that you're an adult, because we're both adults, you know?
Yeah, so what I like to fantasize when I was younger was that I was a prince. Do
you want this on the internet?
It was a silly thing now, but like back...
It's okay. No, it's okay. I remember when you were adopted, when we first got you... Well, let's go back.
I was very prince.
Let's go back.
Spoiled, yeah.
Well, let's go back to the fact that in China, I believe that there was a one kid law.
Yeah, it was a one child policy.
So boys were the hot commodity. Mm-hmm. Girls, unfortunately, were not.
It's because they inherited the last names and usually anything that was associated with that name.
That and also making money. Like, no offense, women wouldn't be able to make as much money as a man.
Due to the laws and how society viewed women. Yeah. Still do. Yeah. Although I think it's now shifting over, from my understanding.
Oh.
I believe it was shifting, but not for the best reasons. I heard somewhere a few years ago that women were now, or girls were now being more viewed because they were more obedient and they often didn't betters in studies for like schooling and stuff, which has been the trend throughout the world recently. Yeah. Not just in China, but
I think the moral of that is that for you, as you were growing up, we were kind of still in that era of like one kid, one policy and everything. Mm-hmm. And so I think for you, they treated you what do you call
like
them?
Royalty.
They treated you like royalty.
Yeah, so
they
would get me ice cream every afternoon.
I was so bitter when we went to go adopt him. I was so bitter because he got to ride on the stroller. He got to be on the stroller. Yeah. I was on the stroller, and then as soon as this comes, and then I'm like, no, I want to be on the stroller.
Mine was a special case because before they adopted me, I got into a bike accident where my foot got caught into
the prince got injured. Just kidding, sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
My foot got caught in the bike and it scraped off a lot of skin. I still have a scar.
To prove it.
I'm not showing it.
No, well, I'm just saying you have it to, like, it's not just you saying it.
Yeah, I still have the scar and everything. But, they treated me very well.
They treated you well, yeah. Yeah. Well, as for me, I don't remember anything. All I know is apparently I picketed pocketed people's pockets at the orphanage because they had candy inside, and I was a girl that loved candy. But I will say something positive about me was that if a child that I was around didn't have a cookie, I would make sure they had a cookie. So you're welcome. Anyways, we're going to move on topics. If you guys want to hear more about adoption, we will eventually do another podcast down the road, possibly. But we're going to kind of switch gears here, and we're going to talk about school and AI. So I'll go first, or do you want to go first?
So what would be your experience? Like, I know.
So, well,
we went to the same school for most of the time.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. I think it's safe to say, if it's okay if I say this, you can tell me not, but we're both very dyslexic. And so that was a very educational challenge that we had growing up.
Which is going to be an unusual perspective because most people just go to public schools. If you're lucky, private school, which is something that not a lot of people get it nowadays.
But even with private schools, not all private schools are like the shit. Like they're not actually as educational as they say they are. Even though it might be you're basically paying for the name. You're not paying for, it's like basically like paying for a phone. You're not paying for the device, you're paying for the name of that device. It's very, you know.
It's very weird, yeah.
So
it's like buying iPhones because of the brand.
So back to school though. So we're dyslexic. And we went to elementary school together, and we were actually pretty cool.
We were very close, I believe, during that time. Well, she bullied me a lot, but
way to make me the villain in my own podcast, and this is the first episode. I mean, we're siblings. You treat each other as you would any other sibling, and you pick on each other.
Part of growing up,
you know,
building that backbone.
I remember when I was in elementary school, and I remember walking to class. Back then, where we were living and staying, we were very outcasted because we were Asians. I want to clarify that we're talking about each different experiences, so his experience will be different from my experience. I remember walking through the halls, and I got picked on because I was super Asian, and he like did the racist eye thing. And I remember saying back, never in a million years have I ever heard this word. And I can also probably bleep this word because I don't know if it's right to say. But I called this kid and I didn't know where the word came from. It
fits for that moment, yeah.
It just came out. I like spoke what I did because I didn't know what else to do. I was kind of just like, I can't control my eyes. Funny enough, though, nowadays people are getting that kind of surgery to get the Asian look, which is like, they're trying to get this like cat look, which is crazy because we were born with it. So anyways, that was my experience in elementary school, which is kind of like, that was probably something that was very traumatizing. And I remember because I actually got in more trouble for saying words versus someone doing an action that was more
which is now the case of nowadays.
Yeah, which would be, you know, so I got, like, we both equally got in trouble, but, like, I had to, like, write a thing, and, like, I also had to apologize, even though I didn't even know what the word was. Yeah. And I get it. I understand now. Obviously, I'm an adult. I think we should say, what is something that you remember or are traumatized from school? Whether it's just like that, and then we could talk about college, because I feel like college is more interesting, because that's where we are in life now, is college, so... Go ahead. So tell me something that was traumatizing and or not traumatizing, or like something that you like actually like enjoyed and remembered.
I enjoyed sports a lot when I was in elementary and would play on little leagues and stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, I remember that. The little baton thing.
Yeah. But I would say and I was pretty popular during that time in elementary. Well, it was actually middle school when things started to change. It was the other, you were down and then up. I was like up and then down, and went the opposite direction. Got made fun of for having a Chinese name, essentially. So I changed it to what my legal name is currently. And I rolled with that after that, pretty much.
Yeah.
Started becoming more studious.
That's interesting that's interesting that you say that you were teased, because I thought it was more that they just couldn't pronounce your name. I thought. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in your shoes, so I thought maybe it was that, but I didn't know you were teased for your name.
Yeah, no, they threw a basketball at my head, but in a joking manner.
Children are awful.
Yeah, children really are. But I moved on.
Is there anything
I didn't pick up sports again until high school, where I went to a private boarding school for all boys.
Yeah.
And I...
Did you feel like you thrived there more?
Thrived so much more there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my experience.
Okay. So on that topic of like school and stuff, we both went to college. I went, as you guys have seen through my YouTube channel, I went to Canada to study, and I studied foundation and entertainment arts. And so it was really about arts. Obviously, it's about like animation, 3D sculpting, like the whole things that they do for movies and pick like everything. And one of the huge topics while I was at the school was whether we would get a job after being in school because of AI. Here's some tea. You guys ready for some tea to be spilled? But I actually had a classmate of mine use AI to create an assignment for her. And it was very obvious. It wasn't cool. As an artist myself, and you also dabble in art, I felt very kind of like taken it back because it's like we've worked really hard to get like to where we are and like to show, because when you go for this particular program, you have to show some of your work so that they know, oh, you are an artist. Oh, okay, this seems, you don't necessarily have to be a good artist. You don't have to be a bad artist. You don't have to even have an art background. Just saying that you want to try something and learn is totally fine. But a lot of us did have an art background, and it was really, really sad and unfortunate to see because it just shows a lack of creativity. I don't know. I mean, I felt like it was just kind of disrespectful to everyone. I don't know. Plagiarizing is one thing, but then using AI as your artwork and saying it's yours, even though you did not actually.
I mean, all you have to do is type in a prompt and it will generate an image for you.
And that's even another thing. If you're gonna do it right. So there was a picture that they used, and it was like a mushroom forest.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with AI, it's still very new. It's still very like fingers, there's extra whatever. But there's a mushroom forest that I can remember, and the little stems weren't, they were not connecting.
Yeah.
And like, obviously the teacher knew and stuff.
And I imagine that did they have the little logo of the AI image generation on the bottom corner?
No, so what I noticed what they did is they actually kind of glossed over it. So they tried to make it theirs, even though it was like, that's why I say, if you're going to do it right. Yeah.
I mean,
or do it better. I don't know.
I mean, if you were going to really do it properly, I would have like,
well, we're not condoning plagiarism or stealing art or not even doing art.
Yeah, no, but like,
I just want to clarify.
I would be a bit smarter about it as well.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Like trace over it at least or something. Like,
well, that's funny you say that because there was tracing.
No, like trace over as in like make it, and then make it again yourself in your own image or in the copied image.
No, that's so that was one incident, and then there was another incident where the person, she got offline for free a 3D sculpt of a dog, and used that as her work.
Yeah, I mean,
because
it
takes
you can get it seconds to make a 3D image now.
No. 3D, like how like ZBrush, you know, like you make sculpting. Yeah, sculpting. Yeah. She 3D sculpted, but she didn't 3D sculpt. But the thing is, the whiskers were so clean. The thing is, like, there's certain this is getting technical, but like there's certain types of like clarity that you have to have in order for it to be as crisp as it was. And those whiskers were so beautiful and fine. Like that, it was so smooth.
It was impossible for a person to do.
Because we're fresh on this. We're learning this. This is a skill we don't know anything about. We don't know how many faces you actually need in order to make it as silky smooth as you can. Yeah. And on top of that, there were teeth inside the dog, which, by the way, if you're gonna do this work, you would want to. If I did a bunch of teeth in a dog, I would want to like make the dog smile or make it like have its tongue out and be all happy because it's showing that I worked really hard to have a mouth open. And it obviously was not her work. She just took it. She just got it for free, was slacking. And I felt like she got like, it was, this program was so new, and I understand that, but it was so like, it was just such a bummer because I felt like there should have been more reprimanding because we're in college. You're an adult. You do these serious things. Like if you did this in the real world, even though we are in a real world, you're in school. You're paying to be like college. Like, the college is where you get to the next step with a job and stuff, and like they help you get to your career. So if you have that as a thing, you know, like you kind of are going to get blacklisted, but they never really reprimanded, which I think they should have done more. I don't think she should have passed certain classes because I think it was not fair for a lot of reasons.
I mean, AI is used a lot nowadays. I mean, specifically for art, it's probably a very taboo thing.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'm so sorry. I went on a tangent, but go ahead. Sorry. So back to AI.
A lot of students nowadays use AI for essays for programming. Or for book reports. Like, there's a lot of things that you can use for AI, and it is very, personalized to your needs, which is something very recent in development for technology.
Yeah.
And a lot of humans are kind of slow, if I'm being honest about these things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
And we're fast in other things, but slow in others.
That happens. I mean, well, also, not everyone's strong strengths are like writing an essay or. I understand, like, the idea of AI is that, it's supposed to help you with something.
Yeah.
Right? It's not necessarily supposed to do the work for you, although some people would rather. I remember being in high school and we had to read a book. And obviously, being dyslexic, I was like saying, I did not want to do that. So what did I do? I went online. I can't remember the name. It was like Bookstar something where it gave you the whole summary.
Did they discover that you plagiarized?
No. It just gives you the whole summary. So I don't actually have to read the book. I just read the summary. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, well, this happened. Like, because they gave you the main, it's like the key of like everything that happened in that one chapter. So I would just read that versus reading the book.
Yeah, it was faster.
It was faster. So it's kind of like AI, but it was like a slow, advanced, not advanced version.
It was a half step.
Yeah.
I was not very smart in that aspect. I would just read the actual thing.
That's good. No, that's good. That's good.
But it would save me a lot of time and a lot of headache.
Well, because I feel like later down the road, I really enjoy books and like actually reading them to the very end.
Come full circle?
Yes, it did come full circle. I did not like reading because my dyslexia really made me feel some type of way. I had a complex. And I didn't want to be like, but now I have like a whole library of different books, manga genres, all of that. So it's a full circle. But yeah, with AI, it can be very intimidating and also scary. Like now some of our phones are getting AI, like, you can have it as a thing. Yeah.
It's a very interesting way it'll happen. I am excited for the implication of AI for education because I'm going to draw from history.
Oh God.
Where
I didn't know we were going this far.
Education was very personalized, like in Rome and Greeks, to the person. I'm not gonna go into specific of how. You can look it up if you want.
Google it, Dr. Google. We all have it.
But basically, education was also very personalized back then. Now we kind of have come full circle where this is my prediction. I don't know if it's going to be true, but the likely chance of AI becoming the new teachers of tomorrow is very likely because no one really. I mean, teachers love their job, but they hate the pay. Right?
Yeah, I mean, if people could actually pay their teachers the actual amount of salary that they deserve.
Yeah.
Like I remember having like a really great teacher, and I feel like now that I know like they get really shitty pay, it's really sucky because it's unfortunate because they're really some teachers actually want to be teachers. They want to help the generation of quote unquote tomorrow to help them and make the children happy and like help and educate them and like have a good like childhood because actually your parents are your first teachers, your second teachers are your teachers.
Yeah, and then the third teacher is life. So
oof.
Well, and that's a constant teacher, if I'm being honest. But
I don't remember. I saw the post on Instagram that was like there was a thing that's like if I find out who actually made homework, I'm gonna come for them, because it's like homework was a way of forcing your kids to study for something. And I'm gonna be honest, as an adult now, I didn't use like a ton of math. I didn't learn I didn't have to do a lot of fractions. I feel like certain things were meant for like certain people. Like math was meant for like people that wanted to go into the science or baking because baking you need a little bit of math, you need a little bit of like fractions and know, and chemistry. And so I feel like certain things, like the way that the algorithm of education system works is it's not built for everybody. And the worst part is people that are most of people are built for it, like people to handle it, but that doesn't mean that they were actually given the necessary tools that they need to grow and better themselves. What I'm trying to say is basically if you're interested in something, like that's the thing, is when you start to grow up, you get interest, you have interest. And so I feel like when people tend to kind of like make you feel like, oh, you only have, math, science, history, that's it. That's all you can do.
It's a very heavy push.
It's very generalized, I think.
Well, STEMs in general is a very heavy push because it is the advancements of humanity, basically.
So what I will we'll come back here, and what I will say is that AI is kind of scary, but is also something that will help us hopefully.
As long as we steer it in the right direction.
Yes, in a way, we are the creators of AI.
Right now, we're the parents.
Oh my god, that's so true. So, with that being said, we're going on to another topic. We should do relationships.
All right.
So, I will start us off with relationships.
This is probably the most spicy one.
well, I don't think I'm going to share everything.
No.
God.
Yeah.
But what I will say is I have officially dated 2 like people, like officially, like they've met my parents. The first one was like puppy love. It was in high school.
Yeah.
And we were together for like a year and 5 months because it was off and on again. It was so toxic, but also, puppy love, right?
I would say.
I mean, you met him.
Yeah, no, yeah. She had weird partners, I would say. Yeah, I knew the first one wasn't going to work. The first moment I met him.
Okay, well, geez, thanks.
But it's a learning experience, My experience is not as diverse in portfolio.
Let me just say, before you go on to yours, I only dated 2 people, and I had like flings and other things in between that time because I felt like, for me, when you're in a relationship for X amount of time, I was like, okay, what's it like not to be in a relationship, but just to have fun? And that's what I did because I didn't want to be that committed. I also felt like it was fun. I'm in my teenage year. I was experimenting. I was figuring out if I even liked that lifestyle of just being out and about. Ooh. Out and about, she said. But, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. But then I ended up getting into a really serious relationship for 5 years, as you guys know from my YouTube channel, that one video. But I learned a lot, and I grew
is a proper term.
I don't know. I'm dyslexic. Let me have my dyslexic card. Let me have my little. Well, it's okay. So I have grown up to realize that, relationships come, they go. It's very hard to find a good balance, or sometimes one person grows more than another, and that's okay. But yeah, so let's hear your little story. So what's your situation? Is your love life okay? Or relationships
currently
okay?
It is as dry as the Sahara Desert. No,
I hope I can clip my face reaction to that.
It's not happening, is what I'm saying.
You can just accept that. These are not the conversations I was expecting. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
We can cut that if you want.
No, it's okay. It's actually going to be really funny for later content. Content.
Yeah, I haven't dated since 2020, really. When COVID happened. I dated this girl, a long distance. It was not very. It was, I would say, more closer to puppy love, as you said. But we didn't get that intimate.
Oh, well, because you're long distance. I mean, what are you gonna do?
So long distance is tough.
Long distance is not made for everybody because I'm not saying that it's not possible, but what I will say is it's very difficult because if you're not there with somebody, you're not growing together. You're just texting a lot, and
I wouldn't say exactly that. Or approximate. It's more of the lines of, so it depends on the person. For my partner, or my ex-partner, she liked physical intimacy, I guess. And wanted me to be like part of it. She texted a lot. And when you text every other hour, it becomes...
this was literally something that we were talking about, is that sometimes he was saying that like the girl that he was with was texting like constantly, and my thought process is, from her perspective, if you're long distance, you want to communicate as much as possible. Of course. But then also there can be a line that can be crossed of like texting, like you said, every hour, every minute, every second, just like, hey, how are you? Oh my God, and like wanting a response back like right then and there, and not getting that can start arguments that are very little and like micro and not even a big deal. Yeah. So I mean, I get it.
And I tried my best to
accommodate,
but it became very tedious. At times. And I mean, every relationship has their issues, but this was like the first major one.
So now you're kind of just chilling.
I've decided. I realized.
Have you tried dating apps?
I have.
Which ones? I'm curious.
All of them.
Wait, let me name them. Let me name them. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
there's Hinge, Tinder, Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel,
I haven't done that one.
or Bagel Meets Coffee.
I haven't done that one.
Okay.
And then there's East Asian Meet, I think.
Oh yeah, the Asian community dating app. Yeah.
Yeah, I tried all of them, and
I've dabbled.
I'm either non-photogenic or it's just the algorithm.
Bruh. No, wait, stop. Photogenic. If you need photos, I can take really good photos.
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a photography background, if I do say so myself.
Yeah.
Men, I'm gonna just put it out there. I don't care who the frick you are. Some men do not know how to take photos, and when I see those pictures, those are horrifying. I was recently just like dabbling. I was kind of like just for shits and giggles. I wanted to just see I've been gone for a year. I'm back home, so I wanted to take a little peeky weeky. Worst mistake of my entire life.
Yeah.
The worst mistake. Men can't take photos.
Actually, now that you say that,
Some men can, but
the ones that can are often in model studios and stuff like that.
Yeah, or they're out of your league, or not even out of your league. They're like
they're obsessed with photography. Basically.
They're obsessed with themselves.
That too.
So
Maybe.
So if you need photos, this is me telling my brother I'm gonna help him with his dating app life. But if you need photos, we should get some photos.
Yeah, no. I spent about 3 years. Had 2 matches during that entire time through all of those apps. And one
the pictures
ghosted
must
me.
have been, no offense, but the pictures must have been not the best pictures of yourself.
I mean.
It's okay. I mean, it's okay, but like, it's okay.
Yeah, one ghosted me. The other one just asked for jokes.
Jokes?
Like, and the conversation was so stale. Like, I can't even have a conversation, or try to at least. And then
I'm sorry.
The other matches were adult stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. We don't need to go on to that one.
Like,
what I will say is, dating apps, they have their pros and cons. But I feel like the best way, now for us, is to literally go, like, if you're out and about, walking, whatever, and you see someone that you think is attractive, just talk and say hello. Just say hi. I feel like nowadays it's so frowned upon to do that, I feel like, because...
Well, I mean, I can tell you from a guy's perspective, that's something that most probably can't do.
I mean, I would prefer, like, it being very, like... natural way of meeting someone. This is this is our new normal of dating, but like I would prefer someone being like, hey, you're very pretty, or you're very handsome, and of course there's that that very slim chance or possibility that they'll reject you, or they have a girlfriend or a boyfriend. But I will say that you've just got to like shoot your shot, because then you'll never know. My thought process, this is a very healthy thought process, I will say, is there are 8 billion people, 8.1 billion people. I just saw that,
I just reached, like, 8.1.
Who's that decimal? No. I saw that as a meme. Who's that decimal? I want to know. But yeah, there's 8.1 billion people on this planet, and for you not to take a shot at least of one person and just say hi.
I mean, you have to realize the majority of them are in the East.
Okay, well,
part of the world.
I'm not trying. Don't crush down on people's parade.
No,
I know you're being realistic, but like I'm just saying that, like, if you think about it in that way, like that there's 8.1 billion, and you just saying hi to one is minuscule. It's tiny. It's you just being like, you're giving yourself a shot. I literally met. Well, let me just say this. I'm not dating necessarily, but this is a relationship topic. I met this girl the day before I was leaving to go back to Bali. I met this girl while going up an escalator at the mall. And we hit it off because she was complimenting me on my tattoos. And then I saw she had tattoos. And we were just hitting it off. And it was so organic. And I loved it so much. Because it was like, I could actually, like, we had really good interest. The unfortunate thing was that I was leaving. And she was like, oh, I would love to hang out and, like, chat with you. And I left. But then I got to meet her 2 weeks ago for, like, a little coffee date just for fun. And just got to chit chat. And it was, like, the best thing ever. And I really appreciate her so much. Because that was, like... if only a guy or a girl could do that, like, for the opposite sex, life would be... I feel like a lot of people don't admit it, but it would be a lot more nicer.
So...
I don't know.
From my understanding,
Yes.
the reason why a lot of guys at least don't do it,
Rejection.
No, it's not just rejection.
I said that so aggressively. Sorry.
It's the other parts because like there are insane people, right? And
of course, not everyone.
The chances of being blasted on the internet or looked at as a creep as a guy, or it seems like it's a higher chance. So what a lot of guys do is they won't engage because of the concerns that it can follow with, especially if you're like in the public. Like it's weird.
Yeah.
Like as our culture for guys to attempt it.
I mean, what
unless you're at like a bar or like at a
that
social gathering.
But I feel like with bars and stuff, it's not necessarily like, oh, I'm gonna meet the one at the bar.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's kind of like a one night stand kind of scenario. I don't know if it's gonna be like like there could be cases where there are people that have met at a bar and they're like, oh my god, I'm boyfriend and girlfriend. But what I wanted to say with that was like, whether it's a relationship or not a relationship and you're just meeting someone, you're taking the time to just give it a shot. I think the worst thing that could happen is they say, nope, sorry, I'm taken, or you're weird. But you're not actually weird. It's just the fact that you actually took a chance. And I think that's more amenable. No,
admirable.
I'm not going to say it. What you said. It's a shot.
From a woman's perspective.
Yeah. I don't know from a guy's.
From a guy's perspective, the worst thing she can do is have you arrested. And being serious.
Oh, well, that's so true. I mean, here we are. I've said it again. I will say it again. I'll find that clip somewhere. I have to be careful because Asians don't raisin. I think I was in Japan, but I said Asians don't raisin. You don't know if they're 12. You don't know if they're 26. Yeah. You don't know if they're 30, 50.
Yeah.
The Asians don't raisin, and I'm into Asians, and like, they don't raisin, so I don't know if I'm talking to a 12. Not that I am. I just... No, it just sometimes like you come up to someone and you're like, true. Hey, you
could end up looking like you're 35. Or you could end up looking like you're 12, but you're actually like 50.
I saw a video. I saw this video of these girls dressed up very late at night. First of all, I don't know whose parents are letting these girls out late at night, but they were dressed up like very like woo, very extra. Yeah. And there was this guy that was obviously older. He was like an adult, legally an adult. And he went up to them and was like, hey, I just saw you guys. I thought you guys go get drinks. Just very nice, polite, like not like being rude. Like thought they were pretty. The girls say, we're 16. And then the other guy next, because there was another guy behind him. He was like, yeah, bro, let's go. And so they just left. And I was like, oh my God, that's horrifying. Like to me.
And that's an average guy's experience. I would say.
I feel like if we could just wear our like a shirt that said our age, and it not to be shameful, just like 26. I'm not ashamed to be 26.
We have already IDs.
We're aging,
so. But yeah, that's the kind of like expectations that I feel like a lot of guys my age are like afraid of. And dating apps don't work, so I just move on.
I mean, I've never had really great calls on dating apps. I've gotten asked out for dates, but then I just. And I just want to say I'm so sorry to those. I just don't have it in me right now to go on dates. I'm literally still working on myself, so I don't think I can work with someone else together, especially on a dating app. I'm in that same boat. Like I've been asked, but I haven't really taken the leap because there are creepy people out there. Yeah. You don't know. Like there's sometimes people will be like, oh, well, I can pick you up from your place. And I'm like, no. I will drive my ass to you. We will go to a public place that everyone knows. But no, it's not necessarily that I don't trust people or, but like apps can be deceiving and, you're not actually sure if you're actually going to meet that person that they say catfish. You'll get catfished. But let's kind of veer off of this relationships and let's talk about, we're getting to 52 minutes, by the way.
Sweet.
So
It's probably going to be cut down to 45. Or you're going to try and probably cut it down.
I'm going to try. So we're just going to move on to another topic. Let's talk about... No. Let's talk about YouTube thoughts.
Oh, okay.
So, for me, I have a question for you is, what did you feel when I started my YouTube channel?
I thought your videos were very well made.
He's hyping me up.
No, I'm being serious. The quality...
Just kidding. Sorry. Sorry. Go ahead. Anyways, sorry.
The quality of the videos were very high end.
Wait, why are you saying were, like as if it was past tense? Like I'm not doing it anymore.
No, you're still doing it.
Okay. Yes.
But they're very high end. With the editing, the transitions.
Can I just say that I do all of that by myself?
Yeah.
Hours?
Most YouTubers do when they start off,
which is fine.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with it.
I know I'm still learning with what I'm doing on my end, with Twitch and other things. But videos were very personal, which I was a little afraid of when you were doing it.
Because, some of them, yeah.
Because
which one was particular, like the breakup one?
Yeah, the breakup one specifically.
Oh, the breakup one. That's funny that you say that because I had such a hard time deciding whether to post that or not. But at the end of the day, for me, it wasn't so much of telling the breakup story. It was so much like at the end of it where it was kind of like I healed and I moved on. And
that's important.
And I wanted to share because like I feel like people often that are going through something that difficult as well. Because like, again, I was with someone for 5 years. You would think that we were going to get married and like, I was going to start a family and all of that. And I think that sometimes, you live and you learn. And I feel like sometimes it's good to hear it from someone else, even if you don't even know them, because maybe somehow that might click better than, your mom or your sibling telling you have a problem.
Certain relationships that were happening during the...
Which one? What?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was like, who's the tea we're talking about?
We hinted at it.
I know. Maybe I didn't register
it. We can't tell you directly because it is your life. If we tell someone else how to live their life,
no, I agree.
Everyone will.
Back to the video. So I guess it was very personal, but it was a choice in that I wanted to just share in case anyone was actually going through literally the same thing, because there have been.
And that's the part where I got.
It was more of a learning thing for, but it was also kind of like very therapeutic, not gonna lie. I cried a little bit, because it's just like, it's a lot. It's a lot to remember. I'm also back in Bali where a lot of that kind of stuff happened, where I was going through the emotions of like a possible breakup, possible not. We didn't know. It was like such a limbo life. So it was a lot of emotions going through when I was sick. So add that to the mixture, But that particular video, it was hard to decide whether to do it or not. But at the end of the day, I did because it's true. It's my story and, it's a learning curve. And I even said at the end though, it's not just his fault. It's also my fault because I wasn't really the greatest girlfriend either. I had my own issues and my own tiff taps. It happens. And now just dabbling in the podcast and seeing how this goes. And I hope it's good because I even drew the logo that you guys will see in the intro and the outro. But I just want to kind of just share happiness and joy and I'm glad that you're a part of this podcast for the first episode because
I'm very honored.
Because, I would like to be able to share little bits of me and my family, not all of it. Because I do feel like it's I would like some of my family members and or yourself to feel like you don't have to, be put on. He was not, I just want to say for the record, my brother was not forced to be here. He volunteered.
So she says.
Don't lie to them. I'm gonna get roasted. So
I'm kidding. It was all on my own will. All of my own will.
And then it's like, and then it says on the thing, blink twice if you're captive. My thought process is if I get Alzheimer's and forget like my life story, it would kind of be cool to see this and be like
fall back to it.
Yeah.
Kind of like vlog. Well, not vlog. Like family videos.
No. You know what it is? This is how my analogy. Mm-hmm. So back in the day, they used to do what is called let me think what it was called. It was when you dig a hole, a time capsule.
Yeah.
So back in the day, you would dig a hole, put like something cool, nifty, old school.
Yeah, that was generally for multi-generational.
But but you would put it in there. You would fill the hole back up with the dirt.
Yeah.
You would wait a couple years. You would dig it out, and you'd be like, oh my god, this bubble gum, they don't make this anymore, or this lipstick isn't. They can see. It's a good
callback to history.
So that, and also like. For me, that's kind of what this is.
So this is like a time capsule.
It's like a time capsule. Yeah. That's my analogy, guys. I know I'm smart because I'm Asian. I did do monthly vlogs.
Yeah.
I kind of fell off of that a little bit because
Yeah, there was like 2 months where you didn't do anything.
and then I added like 3 months later because it was very hectic. There was a lot happening. So I just was very, and by we, I mean myself and I, we collectively were just going through a lot. Let's go off with a really good note because we are in the new year. This is 2025 when I post this.
You know, you can put footnotes in the videos.
Let me just clarify. We're filming in 2024. So when this video goes out, it'll be 2025.
Happy New Year.
So happy New Year, guys. What is your New Year's resolutions? Do you have any?
My New Year's resolution is to finish my book. I've reached chapter 10 on it.
That's good. I mean, how many chapters are you doing? I have curiosity.
Probably like
this is
38 to 40 book paragraphs. No, paragraphs, sorry.
Chapters? 38
yeah.
chapters.
Yeah,
Actually, that's not bad.
Push.
I think for my New Year's resolution, I did one at the beginning of this year that you guys saw. And it was basically like listing, like, I would love to have a home for myself. Yeah. Like kind of manifesting certain things and like health and like well-being and traveling and whatnot. And 2 of those things I have achieved. And I'm very grateful and happy. But I would like to be healthier, less sugar. I have been binge eating a little bit sometimes. And so I want to do better, and I know I can do better. I love ramen. It's so hard to get a Asian person away from ramen, but I will be trying my best to kind of minimalize because I can't stop eating ramen. You can't do that to me. I will be minimalizing how much ramen I eat and just be more aware. Also getting away from spicy foods. I love spicy foods, but my throat really hurts.
It wrecks your insides, huh?
No, like I get like boilers or bubbles in the back. But yes, I will just, those are like very easy things to achieve and it's not too hard to do.
Yeah.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much today for joining us in the Udon at Dawn podcast. And the reason why I named it Udon is because right now I currently am going to not be eating udon. So not be eating. I'm trying to stay away from the udon.
Yeah.
But I named my podcast Udon at Dawn.
Because we love udon.
Because I love udon. I'm a noodle head.
Yeah, you used to eat like 4 or 5 bowls at a time.
Oh my God, don't gaslight me. All right, well, thank you guys for joining us. This is my brother. He did amazing. Yeah. Yay. So say goodbye. Bye.
Bye.